It's that time again. More Boku no Hero Academia with the two Brandons.
I'm trying to think of a witty intro and I'm failing.
Don't worry, man. Don't worry.
That's right. I am Fail Man. That is my hero name. Got it. Nailed it. Yes.
Hmm.
It's, yep. Yep, that's about right.
So, I would first like to give a quick thank you to Reddit user JP Bounty for saying that the Christmas arc actually takes place a little bit ahead plot wise than the anime does.
I did, when I watched one of the other reviews, after we had recorded, I watched a review of the previous episode we had done, episode 12, right? And I do remember somebody else mentioning as well in that review that, like, he understands why the Christmas arc has been moved around, but it was moved to take place earlier than in the manga.
Yeah, since last week was big episode 100, I'm not too sure if we acknowledged that last week.
You did. You acknowledged it. Either that or the previous episode on 11, you acknowledged it, being like, I wonder if something special is going to happen there.
Yeah, since we're skipping over an entire arc.
Yeah, there. From what I understand, and the way that the other guy, Kaiser Neko, because I was watching the Team 4-star review of it. The way he talked about it, it sounds like because of the way that the arcs would set up, it would leave it would end up making this season end really badly. It would leave off like mid something the way he made it sound.
Oh.
Obviously, he was being vague about it so as not to spoil whatever they're shifting, because we're kind of, I guess, assuming that whatever they're moving around is still going to be in there at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in a flashback or something, who knows? But yeah, it basically made it sound like because of how much time is left in this season and the way that the story plays out, if they didn't move it, they were going to end up stuck at like, I would say, a midpoint in some arc, and it would be kind of sloppy.
Oh.
At least that's the way I took it. I could be wrong.
I remember just reading like the overarching plot synopsis, like just like 2 or 3 sentences on the Boku no Hero wiki, and it seems to be focused on the villains and like their struggles within themselves, and that's what the Meta Liberation Army arc, I think that's the name of it, is focused on.
If that's the case, that it kind of seems like it might be told in either flashback or like single episodes, maybe dealing with that in another season. Maybe at the start of like season 6 or whatever.
Because supposedly the opening shot of Shigaraki is what happens during the Meta Liberation Army arc, from what I understand on Reddit. Which some people are saying that we might go back to it, and telling it out of order might spoil some stuff, but
it could. That could be another reason.
Yeah, so I tend to stay away from the manga manga readers who watch it part of the wiki, since it's like anime only, and okay, you read the manga, you know what's going on, here's a board just for you. And I'm just, since I half spoiled myself about the arc name, I'm like, what's going on? So just skimming it, yes, we are skipping the entire next like 30 some chapter arc and going right into the Endeavor Agency arc.
All right. Yeah, that's right. Because that was the after credits point of like,
Mm-hmm.
hey guys, you got nowhere else to go? Why not work under Endeavor? I actually have a maybe tiny bit better relationship with him now.
Hmm. And that's all I know about the Meta Liberation Army arc is just the title of the arc and it deals with the villains. So if anybody's yelling at me, oh, you're gonna spoil yourself, no, I won't.
Too late. He already did it to a minor extent.
Like 4%.
The most minimal of percent without being zero. It's kind of like when I found out about the other bit of One for All, where it's like, I spoiled myself. It's kind of big, but apparently, from what Kaiser Neko has mentioned, there's way more shit that is way dark, like deeper, that could be brought up.
Oh.
There are way worse spoilers from what he says that he could reveal at certain points. So yeah, we start this off with Bakugo and Shoto getting an interview, which ends with literally Bakugo having a shouting match against how Shoto's just answering things calmly and kind of putting words in Bakugo's mouth, which Shoto's really not.
Yeah. We're friends. Who the hell told you we're friends? Well, we're classmates.
It's like, well, we spent a lot of time together, getting our provisional licenses. Like, Shoto is just the driest fucking answers you could get, and just Bakugo literally exploding. To the point where when they air the actual interview, he's literally just cut out, other than just being slightly in the corner of the frame. And he gets so pissed. Hell, there's even a point where who was it? Was it Midnight, I think? Mentions to Aizawa, like, maybe we should get Bakugo to avoid the media, kinda like you do.
And just bringing this up, what you said last week, how does he not exhaust himself?
Yes! How? That seems like I would just be extremely tired. All the time. Like, I don't know.
Well, his rage gives him super strength.
Yeah, but it only lasts so long. Oh my god. Is that part of his quirk, just being angry all the time?
Maybe?
Oh god.
No. He calms down and he only makes like small explosions. He needs to like be as angry as possible, so he sweats profusely so his quirk works.
Maybe? Oh boy. What else? Oh, right. Mount Lady shows up and is like, oh hey, you're gonna learn how to deal with the media because you idiots can't do it. And literally you have Shoto coming up and just being terrible and believing everything that's said. Where it's like, man, if you smile, you'll kill all the ladies. And he's like, I'll kill them if I smile? Oh my god. Literally so, like, taking everything so literally. It's like, the guy has no way of understanding what he's doing.
And Deku is just terrified.
Oh yeah, Deku's terrified, whereas Bakugo actually seems to be somewhat capable when he's on his own. Somewhat. He's still terrible, but he's somewhat capable of dealing with it.
Yes.
And then once you get Deku on something he enjoys, he talks nonstop. He doesn't shut up.
And he managed to activate Black Whip again. Kind of.
Tiny little wisp.
And he was so excited.
Oh boy. Yeah, I'm curious why he did that in front of everyone. That didn't make sense, and maybe that's in part due to what has been cut out and moved around. Like, it seems kind of confusing since you're, like, claiming that it's some variant of your power, and yet now you're whipping it out here in front of everyone. Seems a bit, I don't really get why that was necessary.
Yeah. Maybe to show that he can control it now?
Maybe, but my point would be why in front of everyone? Like, even then, right? Like, we get the slight mention from Midnight about like he went crazy like 2 weeks ago. Are we sure he's okay? And that wasn't even said out loud. That seemed like, unless I misinterpreted that, it seemed like that was like in her head. Like she said that she was thinking that more than actually saying it. So I don't know why he did that in front of everyone. What else was there? We get All Might, the principal talking to All Might, being like, "Don't you even know what day it is?" Because it seems like he's looking into like the previous users of One for All and like marking down notes for Deku. Take a look at then. He even mentions like, yeah, there's not a lot of records kept from the early days when quirks first started making their appearances.
Does Principal Ratman, or what is he?
Mongoose? I forget. It's been so long since he showed up.
Okay, I'm just gonna call him like Principal Von Mongoose. I don't know his I don't know his name, but
I just imagine him in the English dub having a horrible German accent and acting like he's part of the Nazi regime almost. Like
why?
that kind of attitude now.
Why?
Because you named him Von Mongoose.
He's not Germany from Italia. But
What are you saying? We are training heroes here.
but does he know that All for One is past honorable?
I think he's one of the few that's aware. And I want to say that's in part because his quirk is super intelligence, and therefore he might have figured it out already.
Oh, okay.
It'd be hard to hide from this guy. I want to say he's one of them that knows.
Okay.
He's one of the few.
But it's Christmas.
I think I was gonna say, if I remember right, he's also the one that invited All Might to come back to UA to find a successor.
Ah.
I want to say it was in part him. If not, if not, All Might confided that in him and was like, "Look, I need to find someone to pass on to soon." Something or other. Either way, I'm pretty sure he knows.
Because All Might didn't seem to hide the notes.
Yeah. What else was there? I think, yeah, from there we just jump onto the fact that, like, hey, it's Christmas. You should show up, guys. And the best detail is that every single person that's wearing the, like, costume, the Christmas outfit, their pom-pom for the hat is different for every single character.
I did not notice that. Wow.
Yeah, each one relating to their quirks. Like, Sugar Man literally has a piece of candy on the end. When they finally get Bakugo in his, he's got a little explosion.
I'm going to have to check
Jiro's got a musical note. Froppy's got a little frog head. Uravity's got, like, a planet.
Whoa.
Deku's kind of reminds me of, like, his hair when he was working with Eri. Like, his hair going a little wild. Sero has literally just a tape dispenser. I thought that thing was just like a pea at first, but no, it's a tape dispenser.
I am going to have to go back and look at this now.
It was a great detail. Everyone's got a little custom thing for the hat.
Wait. So they said it was 2 weeks since they graduated. I mean, not graduated, since the last episode, right?
About, at minimum, it was 9 days. Because I think it says 9 days earlier when we're watching this episode. I'm not sure how much time passed between when that happened in Data. I want to say it is Data City. Whatever happened there, and when the actual like A versus B thing took place.
Okay.
I'm not sure how much time in between that at those points, but
because I'm just wondering, then how much time does the villain arc go along?
I have no idea. I'm assuming it's within those 2 weeks. And I'm rounding up to 2 weeks here, because like I said, we only got the countdown of 9 days. And I assume that whatever happened was maybe at least a day prior to those events.
Interesting. So, I'm really interested about this villain arc now that we're skipping over it And maybe, oh my god, since it deals with the villains, how about a spin-off series, My Villain Academia?
There is already a spinoff of, I think actually you pointed it out, a spinoff of like Vigilantes.
Yeah, I did that last week.
Yeah, okay, I thought it was you. I was trying to remember if it was you or if it was from the other review I watched that mentioned it. And there's a good chance it could have been both.
No, and I misnamed it whatever something.
But yeah, they start throwing a Christmas party. Mina is desperately trying to make Bakugo dress up in the outfit. He is not having it, even though eventually it does happen. Eri shows up and starts having a great old time, and clearly doesn't know the difference between the holidays yet.
Which was adorable.
She's just got all of them just to be safe.
Trick or treat, here's some eggs.
So here's the interesting thing, and maybe this is also connected to the villain arc. Best Jeanist is missing. We only get a little bit of that because they talk about, and it also seems like it's not wide knowledge either, because the kids talk about Bakugo going to join it with Best Jeanist again for the work studies, which are relaunching, right? And when they ask him, we get a flashback or a slap cut or whatever, to like him looking at like an iPad and just seeing Best Jeanist missing on it. I'm not sure if that's because he was part of the agency. I have to assume it's probably because of that he got that information. Because, like I said, the kids don't seem to be aware of it, the rest of them. We also got a nice flashback to like while Best Jeanist is trying to make Bakugo's hair look half decent. Rather than literally just an explosion on his head of him being like, look, those aren't good names. When you come back here, I'll ask you your name again. You know, once you figure out how to look at the outside world and not just at yourself. Which was a nice little touch of like shit that that Bakugo got a little bit more out of Jeanist than just them clashing with each other. Yeah, I'm assuming that's in the villain arc that we had talked about that's getting skipped over. Like whatever happened to Jeanist. I think that's about it until we get to the credits, and it's just, hey, come work with Endeavor, because even Deku isn't able to get to his previous two, either with Gran Torino or with Night Eye's agency.
Yeah.
Night Eye's they're both too busy to take him on. There is the point where the
Night Eye is kind of dead.
It's true, but that's why Centipeder is taking over, and it's not. It's very heavy lifting for him. It sounds like they're understaffed the way it was made out.
Yeah.
For paperwork wise, and that's not what Deku's there for. There is the part that we get where we get the teachers all talking about the work studies kicking off again. And I think even there's even a point where the principal is talking to All Might over the phone, I believe it was, and he mentions how like whatever the spy is that's in UA, it's not the students, at least not the ones in the hero course at minimum. That is mentioned, and the other part that's mentioned is that look, they're not giving us all the info, like the hero organization or whatever that's in the government or whatever. They're not giving us all the info here, but they want us to start this up again right away. The way it sounds is that they're understaffed, even though the world is literally saturated with heroes, like as a job profession. It is way oversaturated, which means in their heads, I guess, or at least the way the principal was talking, they've got knowledge of shit that's going down. And we know that Hawks is double agent. And we got that shot of Hawks and the lady at the desk. So I can only imagine that Hawks has figured something out. Which, again, probably would have happened in that villain arc. Whatever he found out was probably within that villain arc. And it's probably not good as to whatever they're planning. Especially considering there's an entire city that was decimated.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah, so it seems next week they'll start training with Endeavor.
Is it happening next week, or do they have a delay next week?
Uh,
Because I remember you sent me something about that, about there being like a week getting skipped.
I'm pretty sure it is July 3rd, so 2 weeks.
Okay, so we'll be able to. So cool, cool. So we'll be back next week then, if that's assuming that's correct. We'll be back next week with episode 14, and then we get to skip a week.
Yes, it is July 3rd, so we'll be back next week.
All right, cool.
So, see everybody then.
Everybody, go do a plus ultra in whatever you do, and have a good day.
Plus Ultra!